others hurt at the STEM school in Highlands Ranch. 2 suspects are in custody. One is a juvenile, a female, and the other is an 18-year-old man. So we know that 3 remain in the hospital right now.
That's right. And investigators searched that 18-year-old suspect's home overnight. We're going to get to Drew Engelbart with that more in just a moment. But first, let's get to Fox 31's Jim Hooley. He's live at the school this morning. Jim.
Megan, good morning. This school closed this morning. Obviously, a lot of work being done right now by investigators. They've been here all morning long, all night long, and of course all day yesterday as well after the shooting took place. Just a couple of moments ago, we saw an FBI crime scene investigation truck pull in. The FBI, all part of this investigation. Here's what's happening right now. In just a little bit, we understand the FBI will be going in there with their equipment to look at that crime scene. They say investigators believe that the 2 suspects walked into the school yesterday afternoon, opened fire on students in 2 classrooms. That was just before 2 in the afternoon. The students at that time ran to safety, many of them running down the hallway, shouting that, in fact, there was a shooter in the school as they ran through the hallways. Now, the sheriff down here in Douglas County, Tony Spurlock, said just a little while ago that they don't believe that any of their people exchanged any fire with the suspects, the 2 suspects that were inside the school. He was joined at a press conference a while ago with Governor Polis, who was on hand, and the governor showing his support for all the first responders down here, and of course the community as well. So this is going to be an ongoing investigation now, at least for the next couple of days. The school closed today. It will be closed tomorrow through Friday, and all of this still a very, very painful and a very long-winded process now as this investigation continues at the STEM school, Highlands Ranch.
Well, Jim, at 6 o'clock this morning, the sheriff mentioned that they recovered 2 handguns, pistols. Do we have any idea where these suspects got those weapons?
No, they have no idea. At least they're not saying at this point in time. That will be all part of the investigation. They say that the ATF, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, they will be part of that investigation. These are young people, 18 years and younger. The people here in Colorado, a person of that age cannot legally buy a handgun. So where they got that gun from, Megan, will be all part of that investigation.
Well, Jim, we know the school will be closed through Friday. Is there anything happening there at the school? I'm sure that the students have to get back to their cars at some point.
A lot of cars left over in the parking lot here, Megan, and of course they were left here when the students were evacuated from here yesterday. We are told that the students can come back here starting now at this time to the parking lot, show ID, and pick up their car. And that will be a process that's ongoing here, I'm sure, all day long.
All right, Jim Hooley live for us from Highlands Ranch this morning. Thank you. And we do want to remind you about the Safe to Tell program here in Colorado, where you can report information anonymously. You can call that tip line. There it is on your screen, 1-877-542-SAFE, and give a trained analyst your information. You can also use the Safe to Tell app or the website.
Talk about this. Good to have you, as always. So first and foremost, I mean, is there a magic age when you can talk to them about this, or is it about managing what you give them and what you don't give them?
So I think now with kids talking so much and this getting so much media coverage, it's really a school age thing, kindergarten and up.
Because they're going to go to school and hear about it.
They are. They're going to hear about it. And so you want to be the one that delivers the news. That's what I always say to them. If not, you don't know what they're going to hear. So I think you say that some, really disturbed, people, I'd probably just say people, harmed some kids, and that you have to remind them instantly again around their safety. This is why we do lockdown drills. This is why we do everything to keep you safe.
And we had a discussion with my kids yesterday after all this was playing out, and we talked about the drills. We talked about what they would do if something happened, and what we do to keep them safe. And and I took your advice, to be honest, because you and I have talked about this before, unfortunately. But for the older kids, for the kids that are in high school, I think sometimes parents, a lot of us have a tendency to just kind of want to go with blinders on, and we can't do that. We can't afford to do that.
We can't. I think that this one, for me, it feels a little bit different. I sort of feel this collective energy around this tragedy, and it's probably because we're just bouncing off of last 2 weeks. But I think that parents are really obligated to look through their kids' social media to make sure. Lots of kids have also alternate accounts. Figure that stuff out, know what's going on, whether it's what's going on within them. You've got to know if your kid is dark, lonely, feels isolated, is angry, feels like hatred toward the world. You got to open your eyes to that stuff.
Because often often kids are on social media talking about this stuff. I mean, to some extent, looking for an outlet. And you believe it's parents' obligation to be the first offense against that?
I really do. I think this time, instead of once again going on and talking about how we can talk to our kids about it, I feel really different. I feel like we need to talk to parents about how they can be partners in this. We have got to get together as a community. So many facets, but parents are a part of this.
Well, but the kids say, I want my privacy. I'm 17, you can't be in my Facebook account, you can't be on my Instagram.
Right, and I just say, you live with me, you live under my home, these are our rules.
Yeah. It's tough conversations that we all have to have. Thank you so much for providing some perspective for us. Again, all of us navigating this together, and we know that it's never easy, and you know that it's never easy because it's what we all deal with, but we have to kind of figure out a way to come together to keep our kids safe and to keep our schools safe. Thank you, Doctor. Let's get over to Megan now. Megan.
Students wounded in that school shooting at STEM School in Highlands Ranch, some still in the hospital this morning. Let's get out to Fox 31's Dan DeRue. He joins us live from Littleton Adventist Hospital with what fellow students are saying about those hurt. Dan.
Hey, Megan, here's where we are right now. We are live at the Littleton Adventist Hospital, where yesterday 5 patients, 5 of the kids were brought. 3 have since been released. That's 3 of them. 2 are still at the hospital in serious condition. Now at Sky Ridge Hospital, 2 of the students were admitted, and 1's been released, and 1 soon will be released. At Children's Hospital, 1 of the kids were brought in yesterday and has since been released. Now information is unfolding, and it's still unfolding, but here's what Doug Co-Sheriff Tony Spurlock had to say about an hour and a half ago.
That's what you would want to see, although it's terribly difficult to do so. I mean, you could imagine yourself in that situation, and everyone wants to say that, hey, I'll stand up and take a bullet for the rest of this class, but actually doing it is truly incredible. So
it definitely shows you the difference between good and evil right in that moment. Absolutely. You've got the kids who are going to try and put, fate into their own hands, and the people who, I guess, stand up to those kinds of people. And so they are definitely deserving of whatever comes to them.
Now, those were some of the students yesterday reacting to what happened, and they were reacting to fellow students resisting the shooters. One in particular, Kendrick Castillo, who was killed as a result of him trying to save his fellow students. He passed away. So as the story unfolds, more information we get, you will get it as well. Guys, I'll toss it back to you.
All right, Dan DeRue live for us there at Littleton Adventist Hospital, where, as you said, 3 people still remain in the hospital. Our thoughts, our prayers to them and their families.
Absolutely.
Still to come, Fox 31.
What we know about the suspects and what's next in this investigation.